But it's good it bothered you.
Yeah,
because now you're
I fed
able
off
to...
that and I bounced off that, and as much time as it's taken for me to realize that, that's a process.
Yeah.
That's a process, and like coming out the other side of it, I can say, yeah, you know what, like it was worth it because I'm in a better frame of mind.
Yeah, and I guess you've heard of the concept of the growth mindset and the fixed mindset.
No, but you can educate the viewers.
I mean, if you don't know, so like fixed mindset is kind of the sense that I've learned everything and what I know of the world is the way the world is. It's not a wrong ideal, you know. You can pretty much live life like that and nothing's gonna hinder you as much. But when obstacles and barriers come in the way, with a fixed mindset, you will start realizing, why is things happening to me? You know, why me? Why is life getting harder, for instance? You know, at one point you can probably think as a child, life is easy. As you get older, there's so many, you know, issues. Growth mindset, as the word kind of states, is just growing. The fact that there is always a constant need for growth. So when an obstacle comes, you're more inclined to be like, okay, got to jump over this and realize that, yeah, I've got something that's in my life that's a bit of a hassle, but in the end, I'm going to turn this failure into a victory. It's
reflective, right? It's reflective. You look at that, you analyze the situation, and you say, okay, what went wrong here? What could I have done differently? You learn from it. You improve yourself as a person. You improve, you know, how you deal with situations in general.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, okay.
Because self-love is the point where there's always going to be obstacles, right? There's going to be things that will make you think, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? You're going to make mistakes along the way in your life. 100%. You know, things that no matter how good or nice of a person you are, you're going to fail. You know, it's going to be bad sometimes, right? And you're going to even question yourself, like, why? But if you're able to change it into a growth mindset and realize that, you know what, sucks, but
I'm going to learn from it.
Yeah.
Instead of having a why me, why is everything happening to me mentality, which I snapped out of pretty quick, and I'll say that. I think I did have that mentality. There was one situation in my life that switched that completely.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into detail.
Yeah.
Out of due respect for the viewers.
Yeah,
I don't want to give them a sob story, and I don't want to bait people's names up.
Yeah.
But one situation that, you know, switched very early on, sixth form kind of period, where a why me mentality, I had a why me mentality, and it switched very quickly to a kind of, okay. And from that point, you know, I'm reflective. Okay, something's happened in my life, but I could sit there and I could sulk about it, and I could be, you know, in like a why me phase, or could pick up the pieces and get moving and look at what that has taught me. What life lessons has that taught me? You know, what have I learned from that experience?
Yeah.
Whether that was, you know, a family member being weird, you know, a friend doing me dirty, like whatever that is, you would look at that situation, okay, cool. And I also think you start pointing less fingers at other people and blaming other people around you. And you look at what is it that, not you did wrong, because some situations you don't do anything wrong, but what is it you can improve? Yeah, like where can you do something better next time?
It's not our job to point fingers, basically.
When you're not even, you know, when you're not even in a space where you can sort yourself out, it all comes back in the first cycle. How are you going to fix other people?
Definitely.
So, and this isn't us trying to fix other people.
Even
this isn't us trying to fix other people.
We are literally just discussing.
We're just speaking our minds.
We've made so many mistakes as well.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes in life, and
you know, nothing's going to stop us from making mistakes tomorrow.
So the point of this, I guess, is just to give, if there's someone out there that this resonates to and gives a little bit of hope or a little bit of insight, just a spark of thought, you know. Like I don't like giving people advice. It's more if there's something that I think I want someone to think about, it's more of a question. I'll drop a question, make them think about it, take it away and think.
Yeah.
You know, okay, he said something like that. Why did he say that? Or what was the reason?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this is. It's more if there's anything you take away from it, take away and think about some of the things, I guess.
Yeah. And then the rest is your journey from there. Yeah. Basically.
Just like everyone goes through their own path, so. Yeah.
I mean, with all this though, with self-love and everything, it's important to kind of point out that it's not selfish. You know, it does sound like it, but the thing is, you have to prioritize yourself before you are able to help other people. It's not the sense that it's not a rule. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's not to say that if you see someone on the street who needs some money, you know, you won't be like, oh, I need it. But it's the fact that you're able to, in some situations, put yourself forward sometimes.
And like, I think I might have mentioned it already, but just learning when to say no.
Yeah.
Like knowing when enough's enough, or when you can't do something, when you actually can't do something, or when that's all in its own way self-love, because you're putting yourself first. When you know, okay, like you could go out of your way to do something for someone, but you know that, okay, it's going to take this much time, or you're going to strain yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Knowing when to say, like, okay, I can't do this,
is
another lesson that I've learned very, very recently, the last 10, 11 months of my travel. Because before, you know, I would go out of my way, do anything for anyone, and, you know, not 9 times out of 10, but more frequently than not, I'd be the one that ended up getting hurt. Getting, you know, beating myself down because of the way other people behaved.
And what that comes down to, another issue and flaw everyone has, which is expectations. And it's so hard. You can be the best person, but a part of you will always expect. And obviously the journey is to slowly just do things for the sake of doing it. If you genuinely are going to expect something from someone, don't do it then.
Yeah. If you do something because you're doing it for your happiness, so doing something for someone gives you happiness, that's different.
Yeah, definitely.
Doing something for someone, expecting them to then do it back, is different. 2 different things. Expectations are another very interesting discussion. It's just, it can get so messy.
Anything, to be honest.
Friendships, you know, like relationships between parents, relationships, like sibships, whatever, you know, friendships, like
your career even.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, I know a lot of people who want to finish who want to finish a certain degree in a certain amount of time, and you know, you have things like gap years and stuff, and because of expectations, it makes it that much harder to kind of overcome that barrier. Like, you have this, even though you know everything's fine, it's not, because in the inside there was the expectation, oh, I would have finished this year before, or you know, so and so, and you know, work.
The thing with a lot of that is life has its own path, and it's all written. I don't know, a lot of people might say, okay, Vic's going to go down some spiritual waffle journey here, but I believe it's all written. I think, you know, for a long time, very, like in my school days when I was really immature about stuff, I always looked at a gap year and I was like, oh, why would I want to go to uni with kids the year below me? Like, this is going to be weird.
Yeah.
And I had that thought back then, and hindsight, for anyone that knows me, for the people that don't know me, I ended up taking a gap year because I got a B in chemistry, so I had to reset. And so I ended up taking a gap year. And so, you know, people could be like, right, like, look at fate, look at whatever, but I believe that's all written. Like, I didn't want to take a gap year, I ended up taking a gap year, I ended up being one of the most interesting years of my life, because I learned a lot. I wouldn't say I was mature when I went into uni, but I was a lot more mature than, say, someone that came out of sixth form, just from things I'd seen, I'd worked that year, so life just throws you whatever. A lot of situations that just kind of arose in that year that were family based, or, you know, like sibling based, or just, you know, other things. And yeah, I just think, like, it's interesting what you learn and when you learn, and life always throws things at you, and you just have to ride that wave. I don't think there's a way past it. I don't know why I went off on that tangent.
I mean,
Deep thoughts.
I mean, I guess the thing is not to have expectations, but it also goes down to what we were saying earlier, growth mindset, right? So when you did go through those things, if you were fixed, you would have been stuck in that position, right? You would never have been able to get over it, kind of thing. And that made you a stronger person. Like, once you go over it, once something tough comes in your life, you're never going to be the same person again, right? But
I had a lot going on that year, first year of uni. Some of which I'll open up about, some of which I think is best to keep quiet.